llhami and Konur have been with us before, and had dinner with them last night, and we got into political talk and things of that nature. But it was all very, I didn't want to do it, but they, it's just, so anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, we're just delighted to have them back with us from South Dakota via a long way around the world to get there. But anyway, I've invited them to share this morning. So, llhami, you coming? And later? Okay. Well, y'all come on, welcome them.
Our motto is.
By the way, the 8:30 group will meet. You know, you are meet at 8:45.
I told you, I think this last year, our motto is, you get one of us, you get the other one for free. So 2 for 1.
2 for 1. Okay.
You are in good fortune today, so you got 2 of us for 1.
And for any of you all that do not know us, we do not get anything. I'm so afraid somebody...
Yes, we get everything, but not, you mean money?
Yeah, no money. we're not the lady who's running for president.
Okay.
So you hate to
You don't become a millionaire off nonprofit.
No. I'm Konur, and this is my husband, llhami, and we've been doing this now for, well, we opened the school 8 years ago. So
Some don't know, some are new, don't even know the background.
Right, so the Lord told me that I was to go to South Dakota on a mission trip. I have never been on a mission trip in my life. I've done a lot of things in the church, but I have never been on a mission trip. And I kept telling him, I am not going on the mission trip. But he convinced me finally in the end, and I went, and I was the cook and one of the teachers. And then he told me while I was there, you're to start a school here. My husband and I have a high school education. So, and he's telling me to start a school. I said, Lord, I can't do that. Well, he knew I couldn't do that. So he said, I'll do it. You just have to be my person. So eventually he got me to say yes. I'm a very stubborn woman sometimes. But that's one of the reasons why he needed me, because he moved us out on an Indian reservation from Virginia, and it was a very hard decision. I didn't want to leave my grandchildren, and I didn't want to leave my children. We have 6 children, all married, and we have 22 grandchildren, and 1 great. So I certainly did not want to move, but I moved to help children who have nothing, and they literally have nothing. They don't have a mom and a dad that care. It is amazing to me, because I just think it's perfectly normal when you're a mother, you love that child, and you wouldn't let anything harm that child. Well, out there, they'll sell their girls and boys for any amount of money, just so they can have their alcohol and drugs. So it's a very hard thing, and when I got there, even the pastor said no to us, that he didn't want us there. So I was fighting the church that was there, and he finally left when he knew I wasn't going to leave. And another pastor came in and fought us too. So then we went through that again, and finally he left. And then the Dakota Baptist Convention became involved and had a man come who we already knew, Phil Lawrence, and he accepted us having the school in the church. We started out with kindergarten, 1st and 2nd, and then moved up a grade every year. By 3rd grade, some of the children are in alcohol, and I didn't want that in our school. And so we've been adding grades every year. Now we are through the 9th grade. 4 years, we'll have our first graduating class of Windswept Academy. And God has been with us all the way. We have bought a home and put it into a school, and then we went and built the school. And now, this past summer, we built a duplex so our teachers can move into Eagle Butte. And we just keep adding. And I want you to know, and this is why I know it's God's school, we have never been in the red. How many Christian schools can say that? How many Christian schools can say that they get no tuition?
And not in being red.
And not be in the red. I mean, it just doesn't work. But it does work when you have Him. And that's how we've done it. So, my other thing is, because I know you all need to get out of here, is I would like for llhami to give his testimony. Because I married a Muslim, and
Ooh, that's a bad word. Be careful.
and I just want people to know all Muslims aren't bad.
Well, we already know that.
Yeah, we know.
No, but the other side makes a big deal out
Yes.
of it.
So anyway, I would love for llhami to give his testimony. I think it's worth it.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
But before I do that, I quickly want to mention something, that how great God is. In one couple of sentences to show you how He is the greatest director and the conductor of our lives. He brought a Muslim Turk who was born and raised in Turkey, and a beautiful lady who was born and raised in the United States, to Germany, in Munich, Germany, put us in the same class, and we met in this same class two people from two entirely different backgrounds, futures, everything, and put us together because his goal was to save one child out in South Dakota in this Indian reservation. And I can clearly tell you that nobody does care. Nobody cares about the plight of these children. We see some pictures, and I feel sorry about the hurricane damage in Haiti and in the United States too. But there's a hurricane taking place every single day in this reservation, which is the head of it, Eagle Butte. And these children are suffering unbelievable. It's not monetarily necessarily. They have nothing in their lives. I'll give you an example. One mother will have 3 children, and those 3 children will have 3 different last names. Because for whatever the reason, nobody's married, so these children are out of wedlock, and they would have 3 different names. The mothers will give the child, whoever they think the father was, his name. So these poor little kids that grow in this household don't even have the common name to each other. They have nothing. I mean, this is the simplest thing. Having the same name would at least be something in your life, and they don't even have that. And it is the hardest condition. So, that's being said, God is an unbelievable, not only provider for our lives, but provider of the circumstances. And when I heard Ann first time mention that she really would like to go back there and start a school, I laughed at her. I said, "Are you kidding? You must be crazy. We live in Virginia. We have all of our children and grandchildren here. We have been established here 20-some years. How are you going to move to South Dakota?" She goes, "I don't know, but God tells me to go start a school," which we did. But to me, when I look back, it amazes me. And real fast, on those lines, as I said, I was born and raised in Turkey. Everybody who's born in Turkey, actually, 99.9% are Muslim. I was a Muslim not by choice. If you are born there, you are a Muslim. But my family were not, radical Muslims or anything. Non-practicing Muslim, basically. Went to secular schools, and I went to a private school, taught in English. My best friends were like some Jewish children and Armenian kids and Greek Orthodox in my own class. I was able to grow up in an environment where really racism or prejudice didn't exist. As kids, we grew up in a melting pot, but nobody called anybody name. We were all just, we knew that this boy was not Muslim because his name was Isaac. Okay, so we knew he was Jewish. He was my classmate. I would